Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to African History, Black History, Our History, a program designed to heighten our awareness on our history. I am Franz De Freitas. I'll be your host today as we explore our history. We're delighted that you have taken the time from your busy schedules to participate in this inaugural cultural Zoom event. I want to take the opportunity of a matter of housekeeping just to let everyone who is on the Zoom platform know that for the duration, all mics will be muted, so you will just hear the activity of the program that is happening today. However, we encourage you to take the time to share this event via our Facebook page, Friends for City South, with your friends. And also, the details with your friends for your friends to log on to this event are posted on the Friends for City South Facebook page as well as the Instagram page, and you may reference those pages. We want to take the opportunity to encourage you to interact with all our platforms at Friends for City South via Facebook, via Instagram, and via our website, www.friendsforcitysouth.com. The information and performances that you will hear today will also be posted to our Zoom and our YouTube platforms, and so you can look at those platforms. We also encourage you to support our campaign with a contribution, whether that contribution is in cash or in kind. We will greatly appreciate that so that we can do the work that is necessary in the St. John's City South constituency in the upcoming elections and beyond. We also ask for your forbearance as we transition between the various performances that are happening here today, and I will do my endeavor best to engage you and to share with you the items that will be coming. Without further deliberation, however, we will introduce to you Miss Lila Farrell. Miss Farrell will be rendering the national anthem of Antigua and Barbuda for us, and she will open our historical presentation. Welcome, Lila Farrell.
Strong and firm in peace or danger, to safeguard our native land, we commit ourselves to building a true nation, brave and free, ever striving, ever seeking, dwell in love and unity.
Thank you, Lila, for that excellent rendition of our national anthem, Fair Antigua and Barbuda. I will now like to take the opportunity to invite the Reverend Elva Richards Goodwin and her husband, Mr. Michael Goodwin, to invoke the presence of God, followed by the presence of our ancestors with their rendition of the Negro anthem. It is important that we understand where our participants are coming from, and Reverend Richards Goodwin is the pastor of the Green Bay, Moravian, and Five Islands congregations, and her husband, Michael Goodwin, he is also a member of the congregation and also a choir member. And so, without further ado, we will invite them to bring the presence of God to our proceedings today. Reverend?
Let us pray. Loving, gracious God, we come into your presence this afternoon giving you thanks and praise for your goodness, for your mercy, dear God, for your keeping power. For you, dear God, taking us as a people from our homeland in Africa, bringing us across the Caribbean. But dear God, you have given us the insight to reflect on our past. You have given us a month, dear God, where some people may question, but it's still a month, dear God, that we could come and we could acknowledge you and say, thank you, God. Thank you for this history. Thank you for this rich vibrancy of our people. Thank you, dear God, that our different colors, the different colors of our skin, the textures of our hair, dear God, represent you, represent your uniqueness, dear God. And so we come as a people and we say, thank you, God, for making us who we are, unique, cultured, talented. Lord, the road has not been easy for us. We have come through a way that with tears have been watered. We have come through a way, dear God, that our forefathers went. Many didn't know how they would make it through. But God, you went before them and you guided and you directed their paths. You carried them, dear God. So despite what is happening, loving God, we are going to lift our voices and sing to you. We are going to lift our voices and give you thanks and praise because you are God. You are the one who carried us through. And we are going to give you, God, thanks, and we are going to give you praise. Father God, we thank you for the tears of our forefathers. We thank you, God, that they have gone before us and they would have tread apart, that their blood was slaughtered, but we are here. We are better because of where they came. Help us, dear God, to just follow you. Follow your guidance as we lift our voices and we sing.
Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat, have not a weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading a path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out of the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of a bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou hast by Thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Father God, our feet have not strayed from the places where we met Thee. And so, God, I invoke Your presence on this afternoon's proceeding. May everything go, dear God, as You, dear God, have orchestrated. Continue to bless the organizers as they tell the story of Your people. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Elver Richards Goodwin and Mr. Michael Goodwin. Lift every voice and sing. Sing with the harmony of liberty. It was an exciting rendition from Michael Goodwin, and we appreciate the prayers of Reverend Elver Richards Goodwin. Well, as we move through our program today, I would like to take the opportunity to reiterate to our viewers, both on our Facebook platform as well as our Zoom platform, that the details for the Zoom logging may be found both on our Instagram page as well as on our Facebook page. And for those who are not as technically savvy, if you can have your grandson, son, daughter, or someone else who knows to retrieve those details so that you may be able to log in on the Zoom platform if that is your desire. But we move our program forward today, and we will now be carried on the wings of a spiritual chant by Coyote Erasto, a multi-talented reggae, dancehall, fusion artist from Antigua, Wadadli. He's a member of the Federation family. This Nyabingi warrior, prophet, priest, and king. His mission is to spread righteousness and upliftment, giving words of life to heal humanity through the music. Please give your attention to Coyote Erasto. Welcome.
A pleasant welcome, blessed love to one and all. Whoosh, sanctify. I'm Africa, the place where love flows like water. I'm Africa, taken away to another area. I'm Africa, I am Africa. I am the cradle of civilization. I am the incubator of the earth. And you know what that means? You really know what that means, being the cradle of civilization. Being the incubator of the earth, civilizing the whole world. We Africans are responsible for that. You know, civilizing and even finding the essence of the universe, the universal energy, the universal spirit, and breaking that down into spirituality, a system how we use to govern ourselves according to life, according to the balance of nature and the universe. So the Africans are responsible for, you know, classifying the God or the deity which you might worship today. We were the original source of bringing that to the people, our people, and bringing it to the world. And all religions of the world basically took a piece from the African spiritual system. So we are responsible for the spirituality, or we are responsible for the various religions that are being formed out there. So we Africans are great people. We were the first to establish writing, mathematics, science, break down the medicine in terms of, you can go and search for Imhotep. Imhotep will show you. You will see he's the greatest physician ever. So we are the first to break down how you eat and telling the world that let your food be your medicine and your medicine your food. And today, majority of the world is going against that, going contrary to that. So that's why you have all this sickness, death, and disease. So we Africans must know ourselves in this time. We owe it to ourselves to know ourselves. And the greatest thing is to know yourself. Because if knowledge is so powerful and so mighty and so super, imagine knowledge of self. Knowledge of self is superpower. So Africans, you have to remember your African spirituality. Remember your spirituality was corrupt. And remember your identity was taken from you. And the greatest theft is identity stealing. Remember that? We have to return to our spirituality, return to our spiritual system, because religion having us looking out of ourselves when God, the Almighty, this universal energy is within us. It's within all things. And it works when you make yourself one with it, one with that energy, one with that spirit, one with that inner man. That's the way to go. Religion of the world having us looking out of ourselves for that greater source, that greater light, which is an illusion. You have the power. You have the power to make the change. You have the power to stand up. Because the wicked man that's created that and Babylon that's running the system, they know that no God out there is going to come again. So they're doing that, they're doing and conquering the world. So it's time for us to wake up and conquer and take back our power. You are the children of the Almighty. God is your father. You are the children, you are the sons and the daughters. So it's your birthright. Christ, this Christ is your birthright. Christ is the title. Christ is a title, it's a state of consciousness. So you are the sons and daughters. Take on that consciousness, it's your birthright. Claim it, be it, and practice it daily, and become Christ. Blessed love, that's the word, that's the truth, that's the power. Know yourself. Knowledge of self is superpower. I'll be back to sing your song, Blessed Love.
Thank you so much, Kayode Rasto. He always has so many good pieces of information to share with us. And he is always willing to bring information to the people. Incidentally, we went to PM school together back when I didn't like school. But it certainly is a privilege and a pleasure to have him here, sharing words of wisdom, sharing words about our blackness, about Antigua and Barbuda, and about the African spirituality. Thank you so much. Erasto, for that contribution. At this point, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you a man that I've gotten to know and respect in a very serious way. The gentleman, Mr. Paddy the Griot Simon, schooled in life and history by big people in his community and around the island. Paddy, with knowledge and wisdom beyond his years, is positioned to relate stories and experiences in a manner that is authentic, educational, and entertaining. His ability to share local history has earned Paddy the title of griot, and as he will tell you, a griot is a verbal historian. Paddy has been awarded from the nation of Antigua and Barbuda the most illustrious Order of Merit, and that is the title that he carries, MM. Paddy Simon, the griot, will now share with us some of our local historical information and some particularly relating to this community, to this constituency. Without any delay, please hear the history, hear the wisdom, hear our local story from Paddy the Griot Simon.
Good morning, evening, or night. It depends on where and when you're listening to me. As you're told, my name is Paddy Simon. They call me the griot. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term, it simply means a verbal historian. Now, my qualification to speak about Antigua as an ancestral child of Antigua, it was on the 31st of August, 1955. That's 66 years ago that I was born. It was on the 5th of May, 1912. That's 109 years ago. My father, J.D. Simon, was born Crabs Hill Village, St. Mary Parish, St. John's, Antigua, British West Indies. It was in 1876. His father, my grandfather, David Simon, was born in Crabs Hill Village, St. Mary's Parish, St. John's, Antigua, British West Indies. It was in 1840 that his grandfather, my great-grandfather, Peter Simon, was born in Crabs Hill Village, St. Mary's Parish, St. John's, Antigua, British West Indies. Now, that's where my knowledge is coming from in Antigua. Now, how it works, in Europe, they tell us that European history spanned 3 periods: Dark Ages, Middle Ages, and modern time. The history of Antigua that is important to us today can be categorized in 3 phases: slavery, colonialism, and independence. Now, slavery was from 1632 to 1834. That's 202 years. Colonialism was from 1834 to 1981. That's 147 years. And we're now into independence from 1981 to present, which is going to make it 40 years. Now, the generation of Antigua, the slavery generation, that 202 years generation, they had little to do with life because they were slaves. They were under control by the plantocrats. Okay. Then, after 1834, the generation from 1834 to 1900 adopted the 66ers. They're the first black people in Antigua to become men and women. Because before 1834, a black man and a black woman in Antigua weren't considered human. They're property. They were owned by someone. Now, the generation from 1900 to 1930, that's the greatest generation Antigua had seen to date. Those are called the 39ers. That's the Papa age group, my father age group. Those are the ones that take us from colonialism into independence. Now, the generation, if I run them down, why I'm giving you this preliminary is for you to understand where I'm coming from in the story of Antigua. Because when I speak in Antigua, and you go to the archives and the museum and the library and don't find what I say, I am not subjected to that. Because official dumb history in Antigua does not represent our people. Imagine when we had 40,000 people, 37,000 were black, and 3,000 others. And if you go to the official dumb history in this country, namely the archive, the museum, and the library, you get more history for 3,000 people than for the 37,000 people. But my grandmother was alive, and I know that. Now, I was raised by the 66ers and the 39ers, the people who were born from 1834 to 1900 and from 1900 to 1930, because the pre-war year generation, which would be from 1930 to 1939, and then the war year generation from 1939 to 1945, and then the generation from 1945 to 1960, that's my generation, we call the baby boomers. And then you have the yappies from 1960 to 1980, and then from 1980 to 2000 you have the millenniums, and this generation now are called the computer generation. So, with that said, let me tell you how it works. As a child, the average man and woman I'd be speaking to, there would be either 66ers or 39ers. Okay. I was fortunate enough to raise up in a rum shop. My father rum shop, J.D. Simon and St. George's Street. From the time I know myself, here, that's where I grew up. Now, before I visited the four corners of Antigua, there were men from all over Antigua that visited there, and that's where I get my prime knowledge of Antigua, because when I went to school, there was nobody in any classroom in Antigua teaching Antigua history. We learn about European history, and the best they will give us close to home is what they term as Caribbean history, where they only talk about the big islands. Period. So, what happened is, for me, after the evolution of radio, free radio as it were, I decide that I take it single-handedly to speak about our people's story, because too often a man in Antigua tell you how bright he is, but yet he's tell you about the Russian poet, the Italian artist. And I said, no, country for country, we have the same people here do the same thing country for country as these other countries. Like February now, Black History Month. You go there and ask the average Antiguan about Black History Month, they keep telling you about the Americans, African Americans as it were. But in Antigua we have the same, country for country. So I decided on doing solely our story. Now, as I told you, the preliminary where you get the base of the foundation. After slavery was abolished in 1834, the people from the different estates around the country, they migrated to the place to live, because between 1900 and I dare say up to 1970, any black man I reckon, the place in Antigua he would live would be Pint, Green Bay, Graysalm, Overs, Fibre, Mungoton, Southside Garden, and Hyman Village. Those are the places, because around the city itself proper, St. John City proper, was from South Street to North Street, from East Street to the Wharf. Now, the suburbs and periphery around that keep that city going was those areas are called Pine, Green Bay, Graysalm, Overs, Fibre, Mungoton, Southside Garden, and Hyman's Village. 75% of the people then live in this area. Those areas I tell you around the town. Now, what you find happen is that every area in Antigua had an estate. Antigua had over 350 estates, and all of them had on people. And they disrespect our people so much, they never give you names, they give you numbers. In fact, the only name you can call in Antigua in 1736 was the band with King Court that tried to overthrow the government and own Antigua for themselves. And the reason why you have those names, because they try a thing and they persecuted them and killed them off, murdered them, and only them. But the regular person on the estate, you think when an estate had 350 slaves, they had name for the 350 slaves? So what they did, they brand them. When Papa Sammy went up Betty Hope to look for their grandmother, her number was 104. When I was a child, I heard men with the number 4010. 9/11, 1/11, and all these numbers. I was wondering what it was as a child until, of course, I read Papa Sammy book and found out it's brand our people. Very disadvantaged. So our people, as far as the plantocrats and official dumb was concerned, our people did nothing, even though we did the work. So, what you find happen as the people migrated, as I said to you, around the periphery community of these areas. Overs is one of those areas. So let me give you a little story about Overs as a special for today. Now, Overs was so named because, remember, the Englishman, everywhere they go and settled and colonialized, they give the name of England, parts in England, to the local place that they are. Overs were no exception. In fact, Overs get its name from Overs Cricket Ground in England, because Overs Cricket Club in Antigua headquarters in that area. So the whole area called Overs. Now, the geographical location of it would be from number 1 New Street to where they used to call Drake Street, which is now the rightful name of Sir Vivian Richard Street. It goes from Independence Avenue, they call it then East Street, down to Market Street. That area there is Overs proper. Now, with the density of the population there and the great people they produce, you would be amazed that if you go to official dumb history, you don't get them. So let me tell you who they were and who they are. Of course, top of the line, the greatest thing that come out of Overs presently is of Vivian Alexander Richards. He's the most renowned Antiguan in the world today. Our national living hero, Sir Viv Richards. Big. In other words, when you put Antigua with, say, Australia, India, Pakistan, South Africa, New Zealand, we are but like a small city in those countries. But Sir Viv Richards from Antigua make Antigua bigger than them, because in the last 100 years, the Bible of cricket, the wisdom cricket, he is in the 5 in the world in the last 100 years cricketers, and Sir Viv is in that. Okay? So Sir Viv put him on top. Line. Overs. Okay. Now, Overs is the place where, of course, it produces a lot of the civil servants. Because the areas I called to you, the only other place could challenge Overs or equal to Overs was the Pint community. And the Pint did that because in 1920, out of the 6 other trading towns they have in Antigua, they closed all the others except for Pint. So in 1920, Pint became the only place where goods and services would have come through. And of course, Pint was like the cultural center, of course. Okay. But Overs, you know, if I may speak to you as I understand it, it was, you could call it a middle class. You could call it an educated area, because the people there strive for higher education, higher learning, and it produces some great teachers, business people, and all sort of people. As I said, Viv Richards, Olaf. Okay, you say Overs, you say Viv Richards. But in Overs, you had some great people. As I tell you, the people leave from all the other areas and migrated to these areas. Okay, one of the first black men in Antigua to be a multinational multi-millionaire was a man who took over from his father's shop. Now, you can't say Overs and they say Charles Edward Shop. That's Keith Edwards' father. And he took over the shop, the business from his father, and became the first, you call it ancestral child, to be a multi-millionaire in Antigua. I tell you how it works. He was the agent for Heineken beer for the Caribbean. When Keith Edward was the agent for the Heineken beer in the early years, I had the opportunity to go down to the Deepwater Harbor and saw, we call them direct boat, they're called Saganis, coming from Holland with the beers for the Caribbean. I've seen that with my eyes. 7 flights of step, 7 decks you go down on this boat. And I've seen the Caribbean beer supply. Okay? Keith Edwards was that agent. Okay? Now, As I said, for me, it's event and people that I speak about, our people. You have a gentleman named Charlie Henry. He worked with Ron Henry for like 40 years. Huh? He didn't become a lawyer because he didn't go to university. But he became a notary public. He's respected as one of the most honest and decent notary public Antigua's ever produced. He never bad play nobody with them will. Decent man. Okay. Well, overs, as I said, all the names, Omad, you name them, people from Liberta all over the island would have migrated there because the other areas to live, as I said, overs would be the place where the people there really did well educationally, and they had produced a lot of teachers and a lot of civil servants. In fact, today, if you look on overs, you discover that the houses that were built in overs were built mainly by Norris Walters, and they were built to withstand hurricane and earthquake. And this is why you find that even though we have hurricane and earthquake around here, overs never get any hard hit because those houses were built by Mattis and Tennant. Because I use the exact boundary line between South Street and number 1 New Street, some of the names that is, should overs be getting credit for, like overs produced 2 of the prime ministers in Antigua to date, and the 4 prime ministers we have in Antigua to date is like 2 from overs and 2, other areas. Okay. Now, in the last 50 years in Antigua, if anybody were to argue, the 4 court decision, test cases in the court that we have in the last 50 years in Antigua, 2 from overs and 2 from Pint. Eloy de Freitas has a test case that is good in the British Commonwealth. Winston Derrick also has one. In Pint, Tim Hector and Alistair Thomas has the other 2. Eloy de Freitas win the case that a civil servant has the right of his freedom and his timing. Now, one of the migration into overs is a gentleman from Liberta by the name of Mr. Hewitt Francis de Freitas. His wife from All Saints, Miss Bertha Helena de Freitas Nee Brown. They also moved from the countryside and went into overs. And they fortunately made their children, and their children grew up in overs. Now, they produce some of the greatest Antiguan children that we can be proud of. I mean, the daughters in America doing well in nursing and all these kind of things. But for me, the one that they produce that is direct to me is Mr. Franz de Freitas. 6 years ago, I met Franz de Freitas in New York. And before that, in Antigua, I was speaking on the radio Antigua stories. And a lot of people in Antigua with their mouth was telling me what to do. I must do this, I must do that, I must do this, I must do that. Franz didn't do that. When Franz met me and heard me speak the first time, he got goose pimple. And he said, my God, Antiguans must know the stories of their people through you. And he put his hand in his pocket and rented halls in America for me to speak to people. He's not a speaker, he's a doer. And we discuss in America when he comes home what's going to happen. And he said, Paddy, when I come down Antigua, I'm going to put you on the map because I'm going to do things as I said. He didn't tell me what to do, he do things. He put his hand in his pocket. Look, he invested in me, man. I can tell you that. He invested in me. T-shirts, everything, you name it. And when he came home to Antigua, he put in application. He made application to all the hotels. And the response was, we're not interested in Antigua history. The only one that took him up was Sugar Ridge Hotel. And we went down there and do our one night. They invited me to the museum one night. The Historical Society of Antigua invited me to the museum. Tell me about, they're going to show a picture about the Antigua Sugar Factory. 650 men work in the Antigua Sugar Factory. And lo and behold, you go to that film show they had. They were featuring 9 white families that live on the south side. I had guests with me and I was ashamed. I said, look at that. 650 men. And that Antigua Sugar Factory is the first place in Antigua that men from the 4 corners of Antigua work. That was the stepping stone and the fight for the union for black people to get betterment of life. So many great things done there. And as I was saying with France left Antigua, went to Trinidad and finished high school in Trinidad. Realizing then after high school how serious education would be to him, he then took serious to education. So he got to Southern America, southern part of America. And he went to his university and he did his degree. But you know, he liked to play down this now. He and Ralph and these boys, they don't like tell you the degree because you know what I love about him? His theory is, don't show me a paper. Show me what you can do or what you're doing. That's why I love him. He not boast that, oh, I have this degree. And no. That's how he work. He tell you, look, I can do that. And he do it. And France could be on Wall Street and drive Cadillac and have a house in Long Island like plenty Antigua with boast. You know, I'm the only black man who lived there and so. And he made a sacrifice for his children and raised his children. And when he was up in the States, when he came home, he said, Paddy, I don't want my children to go the town school and the recognized school and the big school. Because I know if they go there, then I'm going to believe that they are intelligent. They're going to think it's the school. So I want them to go country school where they can involve with the local people, fisherman, farmer. And so children he wanted them. And he sent them to Ganville School. Right now, Ganville has a record in Antigua for the first time that anybody in Ganville School takes 17 subjects. The son passed 16 and the daughter passed 14. Ganville never had that yet. And the first time they went to school. Okay. He did that for his children. He not satisfied. Guess what he do? He had a program for young people called Youth League in Antigua. And some children who, if you ask them the name, couldn't even tell you the name. They can speak on radio now on TV, boy. And they say, oh, boy, fancy the greatest. He interviewed me. And I can interview. They can speak to the Pope now. Yeah. And I'm saying to you that this is one of the products of overs. Now, if you don't give a man an opportunity and a chance, you can't say what he would do or what he can't do. And too long, we are saying for 3,000 years, a prophet have no hand in his own country. When are we going to stop that nonsense and bring it to reality? When are we going to stop it and bring it to reality? It's just like the average man in Antigua says the Lord's Prayer from the time he's in diaper until he come all like stone in the church. And he don't understand what he mean when he said the Lord's Prayer. Father, forgive me, for I'm going to forgive those who trust themselves in me. They don't have that basic fundamental, you know? Because they're in church, and before they come out of church, they are enemy. Come on, man. Stop our gibberish and nonsense and deal with reality. And I'm saying to you, brother, that area of overs, as I say, for me, again, I'll reiterate, so Viv, top of the line. You say anything. He's published. Everybody know about him. But for me, France, his father, career teacher. His mother, career teacher. In fact, as France move around Antigua right now, every place he goes, so he's saying in the freighters, the first question asks, your father was Mr. Hewlett? And then he said, yes. He said, he teach me. And these are the kind of things you get. So for me, brother, any community in Antigua, I'm fortunate to be able to speak upon anybody of the communities. As I said, so much can be said. But we have other speakers who'd like to speak. But overs, hey, I can speak to you for the day in it. But I'd just like to salute the De Freitas family and to say to you that Franz De Freitas is a man that I can speak proud about. I'll tell the Pope about him and wish that you can do the same. Give him a chance.
Thank you so much. Paddy DeGrio Simon, ladies and gentlemen who are listening via Zoom and via Facebook Live. That is somebody that I respect greatly. And Paddy has a wealth of knowledge. It is my opinion that every child, every student, young and old in Antigua and Barbuda, should have the opportunity to hear hear the things that he have to say. Talk about African history, black history, our history. Paddy the Griot Simon is the person who can deliver that to us. And I thank him so much for taking the opportunity to come here today and just to share a little bit of information with us. You certainly will have the opportunity to hear more about Paddy, because everywhere me go, me carry he with me. I just want everybody to know, because if we don't know our history, if we don't understand where we come from, then we can't fight for the change that we need in St. John's City South. We can't get up and take action that is going to make us proud of our nation if we don't understand our history. And I'm so fortunate to have people like Paddy Simon standing up and batting for me here, because the work that we have before us is significant. Thank you so much, Paddy, for that historical presentation like no one else could ever deliver. At this time, I am going to take the opportunity once again to reintroduce to you a daughter of New Winthrops, a wife, a mother, a creative talent, an advocate for justice and fairness. Lila is also a creator and producer of the recently released This Is Me music video presentation, primarily steeped in the history of Antigua and Barbuda. Recently, I had a chance to speak with her to find out why she took the opportunity to delve into our history. And she said, well, there are a lot of things that I didn't know, that I find out. A lot of things that my children didn't know about Antiguans and Barbudans. And she has taken it upon herself to give us our history in music. And you will hear her sing today. But before she sings for us, her work can be viewed on 360 Aperture. You can find that on YouTube as well as Facebook, and listen to her 10-minute presentation. It is a presentation that is well videographed, well put together, and everybody should have a chance to be able to hear the beautiful music that was delivered by Lila and her team of artists, performers, and young people who are learning the history of Antigua and Barbuda. Lila Farrell will offer us a musical rendition. Please listen to Lila.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the skies. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movies and I go downtown. Somebody keeps telling me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. But then I go to my brother. And I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me right back down on my knees. And oh, there've been times that I thought I wouldn't last for long. God knows I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lila Farrell, and I just want to thank her so much for reminding us why we're here, because a change is indeed going to come. A change is going to come to St. John's City South, because we certainly need the opportunity to develop our people, to restore the infrastructure in our community. We certainly need to move back to the place that Paddy was talking about, where we have great sons and daughters being produced in this constituency. A change gonna come. You better believe that that change is going to come as a result of the next election, when I come to St. John's City South to change this community. Thank you so much, Lila, for your rendition in the past segment there. African history, black history, our history. As we continue to connect with our history, we'll once again be encouraged with the inspiration to stand up, have strength and power. We will now hear the powerful music of the man, Coyote Erasto. Listen to him right now.
Blessed Love, Strength and Power by Coyote Erasto. Big up Gavin and Craig Christopher for the music. Since 2007 I wrote this one here. So this one in Jalipso, Strength and Power, Antigua style. Let it go. Boy! Yeah! Come and see the people are powerful and to stand up for them right. But we not play with them, you know. 1834, 1st of August, hey. Emancipation Day. Oh yes, and the struggle, remember. Don't you dare forget. Struggle, remember. Don't you dare forget. And not to be black, and not to be black, and not to be black. And not to be black, and not to be black, and not to be black. Praise this, so we go fight the battle. And so we win the victory fight. Let me build on our ancestors' legacy. And when we say strength and power, when you know yourself and your history, roots and culture, straight from Africa, ain't no mystery. Strength and power, we are who we are, not who you are. We be roots and culture, absolutely. So we set the self free. History tells our people where they must go. History tells our people where they must be. So we now highlight the things that divides us. No sir, forward let we elaborate what unites us. African creativity, fortitude and bravery. African liberation, we free from slavery. Now sell out, robber Babylonians are the enemies. That's why you're following His Majesty. Hey, we are the strength and power when we know we self and we history, roots and culture. Straight from Africa, ain't no mystery. Strength and power, We are who we are, not who you are. We be roots and culture, absolutely. So we set ourselves free. Play me some conscious music. Play me some righteous music. Play me some music to touch my soul. Me a dance for me to fit. King Shachet him did do it. King Abstinent him did do it. King Swallow sing about African liberation. Yes, I true it. So don't get caught by the beast. Vanity, vanity, grabber and beats. Globalization is just a big, big bag of chicks controlled by the wizard and witch, Freemasons and fascists and freaks. Just like a thief in the night, destruction I gonna make them peace. Strength and power when we know itself and the history, roots and culture. Strength from Africa ain't no mystery. Strength and power. We are who we are, not who you are. We be roots and culture, absolutely. So we set ourselves free. 1834, 1st of August, Emancipation Day. Oh yes, and the struggle, 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 remember. Don't you dare forget. Struggle, 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 remember. Don't you dare forget. And not to be black, and not to be black, and not to be black. Sing the song, yeah, and not to be black, and not to be black, and not to be black. Blessing so we can fight the battle. So we win the victory fight. Let me build on our ancestors' legacy. Sing the song now. Strength and power when we know whatever say.
Roots and culture.
Alright.
Strength and power.
Okay, me hear you. Roots and culture, absolutely. You want to do it again? Strength and power when we know ourselves and our history. Roots and culture. Straight from Africa, ain't no mystery. Strength and power. We are who we are, not who you want we be. Roots and culture, absolutely. Big up fancy faces. Blessed love, Black History Month program. Coyote Rasto. Remember, check me out on Facebook, Coyote Rasto. Instagram, Coyote Rasto. Twitter, Coyote Rasto. My webpage, coyoterasto.com. Love you. Rastafari.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man, Coyote Rasto. Strength and power. Roots and culture. Look, one conscious, brother man. Everybody should go out there, hit up his social media platforms, show him some appreciation. He's always out there trying to inform, trying to educate those of us, trying to teach us of our African history, our black history, our history. The man, Coyote Erasto, always willing to be able to put forward his foot and do something here. And we have to support him. Local artists in Antigua, all the music that he and his team produce it local in Antigua and Barbuda. Strength and power are the struggle. Remember, honor to be black, honor to be back, roots and culture. I want to take the opportunity at this point to share with you the platforms that you can find information about Franz de Freitas. You can go to Franz for City South, and on Franz for City South, you can visit us on our Facebook, you can visit us on our Instagram, check out our YouTube platform, and you can go to our website at www.franz4citysouth.com. There, you can read about the initiatives that we have for our community. You can take the opportunity while there to see how you can support this campaign for change, this campaign to restore the constituency of St. John's City South. You can also make a donation, a contribution to this campaign. You know, elections cannot be won by Franz de Freitas alone. We need everybody. And when I say everybody, not only the people in Antigua and Barbuda, but all those of you in the diaspora, taking the opportunity to listen, whether you're listening live now or whether you will listen in the future. We thank you for your contributions. And I know some people might say things tight, manahana money. If you have some ideas, some thoughts about how we can rebuild our community, how we can develop people children, young adults, young professionals, and adults, please reach out to us via our platforms, whether the website www.franceforcitysouth.com or on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You may also email us at franceforcitysouth@gmail.com. At this time, we're going to shift the program to introduce to you Dotsie D.J. Isaac, a proud black woman, an Antiguan, a mother to one son and one daughter, a great fan of nature and a keen observer of human nature. She's a spiritual but not religious, and she says heaven is a bowl full of kidney mango and any amount of fried fish. Dotsie has always enjoyed the rhythm and flow of poetry and started writing in her teenage years. Poetry is her art and her therapy. Her letters of love are her mirror of society and her voice of protest. Poetry is the saucer that catches her spills over thoughts and emotions. Her poetry is her fingerprints on the fabric of Antigua's culture. Dotsie Isaac, she will enlighten and excite our African literary senses. Please take the opportunity now to listen to the words of Dotsie D.J. Isaac.
Stepping on the black man's neck. We stretch our necks across the water, caught up in the business of America, their impeachment and insurrection rooted in bigotry and racism. But while we are rooting for their Black Lives Matter, plenty necks are getting crushed right here in Antigua. In Barbuda, a Caucasian Texan blocked the road with his Jeep and told a Barbudan, "You can't cross here. This is my land." That is more than gumption and disrespect. That is kneeling on the black man's neck. A British prisoner is locked up in contrast conditions to the black man's daughters and local sons, who crap in buckets and old slop pails, who get COVID and remain in our overcrowded jail. A black prisoner walked into a baton of blows, cut up his face and broke up his nose, but he couldn't get no treatment. Meanwhile, Umberto Shinato got a quiet release, now up by fines receiving treatment. Please. Somebody has determined that as long as this Italian murderer is alive, he won't spend another minute up at 1735. That is kneeling on the black man's neck. When some kind of naturalized man from India called for the boycott of a radio station in Antigua, that is not only an economic threat, that is grinding your heel in the black man's neck. A white Canadian renamed a beach in his own honor and blocked the beach entrance with big boulders and dared to compete with the local beach vendors. Bow dog and bottom dog. Kindred canine spirits, I guess, but that is walking on the black man's neck. Now imagine, as recently as 5 days ago, a Northside hotel staged a pappy show. No locals must come on their beach to bathe because they have celebrity in the hotel and they're afraid. So, to keep out the locals, they erect barricade. Imagine that. When that didn't work, they concocted a report and the police them like puppet back and forth, all because of one little red boy from Parham Town who caused a ripple, then a wave, then tsunami all around, because he said, "Then nah broke my spirit. May go back tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next." And so them becks because he is relentless in his quest for them top crush the windpipe in the black man neck. They hate the truth. Now, whether they come with a negative test or they don't get the vaccine, it no matter. Returning nationals must quarantine. But the white-faced tourists come in clean. While they back us up and lock us up on the plantation, tell them prepare for the mighty revolution because it's coming. Prospective farmers, they tell them, no land day. But when it comes to the Chinese, everything give away. They get acres and acres of agricultural land. And the prime minister of this country building a dam. And he doesn't give a damn that the local farmers say, we need a hand. And he's deaf to the cries of the young businessman who cries out in pain, we can't breathe. I can't breathe. No, the Arab geese that lay the golden egg play by a different set of rules instead. Hundreds of family and friends attend their funerals, while the yard fowl get just 25 mourners and a pauper's burial. Black people don't want to mourn them dead too. It is the highest form of hypocrisy in a country where black necks are the majority. The more things change is the more they stay the same. Because bottom dog Tehi Manji Bati Panawi again, he and his privileged acquaintances secretly took the jab. He say, but don't take what I go do. Moderna for me, AstraZeneca for you. And if you don't take the jab, then no paycheck. It is the absolute worst kind of betrayal when a black man steps on another black man's neck. Old massa, speaking while he's sleeping in Parliament big chair with the light complexion and the coolie gray hair, tried to muzzle the blackest man in the Parliament. But that black man did not relent. No, sir. He packaged George, he bundle and the black neck and go because he's a man. He ain't nobody's Negro. And Nigel Christian and Cornell Benjamin, dispensable because of their melanin. We are a country in waiting to see how we go. How these two men just get shot up, simple so. On the investigation, every damn crime in this country is on the investigation. Hoping we forget, nothing ever comes to conclusion. Keeping the noose from around certain black necks. Mr. Robinson have the nerve to call for an inquiry. And yes, most of us agree, but you full of hypocrisy, so just hush. How many inquiries were commissioned under your watch? About all the extrajudicial killings by police hands, playing judge and jury for black people's sons. Politicians say, hey, we can make music with the black man's neck. Just make your demands and show them the check. Anything you see you want, you just take. Black man make nice, get a kick in a neck. So, as we celebrate Black History Month, know that racism and classism are alive and well in Antigua and Barbuda. When we're looking across the pond at America, remember, plenty black neck, take make carpet in this country, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Dotsy Isaac, me can just listen to she all day. Talk about African history, black history, our history. It is such a delight when she speaks, how she puts her words together. Stepping on the black man's neck, right here in Antigua and Barbuda. We, as a people, have to stand up in this country here so that they can take their knee off our neck. We, as Antiguans and Barbudans, as constituents in St. John's City South, we have to stand up and take back our community. That's it. Thank you for the reminders. And it would be remiss of me, and you can hear she again before I'm done tonight, but it would be remiss of me to not reiterate and mention the names of Nigel Christian and Cornell Benjamin. Everybody should call their name over and over and over. Our children and our sons shouldn't die just because they are Antiguans and Barbudans, we have to go and stand up. We have to go and fight for those people. We're talking about African history, black history, our history here in Antigua and Barbuda. Right here in Antigua and Barbuda. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the next feature section of our presentation. For the next half an hour, we're going to be delighted and thrilled with a number of African traditional items. Head wraps are traditional attire in many sub-Saharan African cultures. Where, when, and how head wraps are styled may represent wealth, ethnicity, material status, marital status, mourning, or reverence. Today, we are delighted to present to you Juliet O'Hare of Clean and Shine. She's a mother, she's a teacher, she's an entrepreneur, a proud Nigerian. Juliet will now demonstrate for us not only head wraps, but some traditional African attire. And to assist her in that endeavor, we have David O'Hare, Princess O'Hare, her son and daughter, and our very own Onika Elvin, who will participate in the head wrapping section. I want everybody to give your attention to Juliet from Clean and Shine as she brings to us African tradition, Nigerian tradition. And when you get a chance, just stop by her store just below Big Church Step on Newgate Street so that you can also. This you see the suit that may wear? Yes, Clean and Shine. Nobody have a badder suit than me today. And you can get one like that too over by Juliet at Clean and Shine. Participate in the African history, the black history, the local history that she will bring to you at this time.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to greet you in Nigerian language today as we are enjoying Black History Month. So, I'm assuming they will. Una bolachi, una salachi. And that means I'm telling you, good afternoon. So it's time for us to just enjoy our roots. And we are here to show you some little culture of Africa. Enjoy it as we do a hair wrap and show you some nice African fashions, royal, that you can find at Clean and Shine, and we will make you happy because you are going to enjoy African dance and African displays. Enjoy it. So let me call my models to come. The first model come, and I'm going to give you your hair wrap. A hair wrap, you look for the hair tie that will really match your clothes. And I saw that this color can be found in her clothes, so I choose that. And I have other colors that I can choose too. And this one is 100% cotton, all the way from Nigeria. So watch me wrap her, and you will see her look well dressed.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilonoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana, dawo yami, ayikholana, buso wami, awukholana, ilonoloze. Dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana Ilondoloze.
In Africa, this is a modern fashion that makes you look well dressed. If she wants to do her traditional marriage, she can do this hair tie before she gets her blessings from the father and then join the husband. So you can model to them now and show them your hair wrap style. Don't she look good? She's an Antiguan princess in African attire. And she looks real natural. You look good. So I call my next model Princess Oye. Okay, I'm choosing a lace hair wrap for Princess. At Clean and Shine shop, the Divine Skincare and African Fashion Center, we have different types of hair wrap. We have the lace, we have the cotton, and we have all manner of hair wrap to match you. So I'm choosing a lace for Princess, and watch me wrap her.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami.
Another hairstyle that you can use for church, you can use for traditional wedding, you can use for any occasion. So I want Princess to get up and display her hairstyle. You see, she's looking good, an African princess. So anytime you wrap your hair, you look well dressed. We have lace hair wrap, we have cotton hair wrap, we have natural African hair wrap. Whichever one you want, Clean and Shine. The Divine Skincare and African Fashion Center have it for you. Okay, now I'm calling the man to come and model the African men wear. He has on his head, you can come over here. He has on his head an African hat. You can pull up your hat and pull it back again. Very easy to fit in. A display in African fashion. He's looking nice like my handsome friend up there. And all these fashion comes at the Divine Skincare and African Fashion Center at Upper Newgate Street, Clean and Shine. We have the best in African fashion. So if you really want to dress in African fashion for any occasion, for men, for women, for teenagers, you will get the best at the Divine Skincare and African Fashion Center. So come and locate us and see that you will look good when you dress in African outfits. And I have a little dance for you to show you that in Africa we enjoy ourselves. I want that dancing up. This is Clean and Shine. And Clean and Shine, as you know, is not just a businesswoman. It's a professional chemist that teaches at the high school. I have the skincare department where we take care of all manner of skin problems. In our skin therapy center, I make my own cream, I make my own soap, I make my own cleansers, and with these packages, it will make you younger, it will nourish you, and protect you from the sun. So if you have any occasion, you just need to come to Clean and Shine. Where you don't need powder or makeup to shine. You will look natural. We have what we call shop and shine. Before you leave the shop, we already clean you up and give you the best skin care that will enrich your skin and make you younger. So the African Fashion Center is not just what we do, we also take care of your skin. And we carry beautiful wigs from Africa. We have the braid wigs, we have the type that I have on my head. At Clean and Shine, we do all. We have a lot of African dancers that can make your occasion great. So if you have an occasion and you want African dancers to perform, look at Clean and Shine at Upper Newgate Street. We have young people we are training to dance for you. Okay, so enjoy yourself. It's Black History Month. We need to dance like an African. Can you give me the beating higher? Yes, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. Africans are happy people, and I want you all to be happy. I know that from your roots, we are happy people out there. I'll greet you again in African language, and I want you to continue to shine, to continue to be happy. It's Black History Month. Ekele moon in Dubai. And that means I greet you again in the name of the Lord Jesus. You will stay well and you will be happy at Black History Month. And one day make it a trip to visit Africa. God bless you. Let's model again. You see their hair tie look good? Their hats look good? Yes, it's good to dress in Africa. Everybody that have African outfit, please come and join us. Come and join us. All of us are African. Yes, yes, yes. Come and join us. We have princess and yes, we have royal people. When you dress in Africa, you look royal. You see, she look good. Yes, all of us look good. Yes, yes, we look good. We have to show forth our roots. In Africa, we are happy people. You need to dress in Africa. Be proud to tie your hair. Your hair is no longer slavery. It makes you wear dress. It makes you royal. Put on your hat. You look good. The African outfit is the best outfit. Our roots have the best. Enjoy yourself. Yo! Dance, dance. Yo! You want to dance more than me? That's how we do it. Give me the beating higher. Yeah. So Clean and Shine, the Divine Skin Care and African Fashion Center, located at Upper Newgate Street, is where to come for your African fashion, for your skin care, and for your royal wigs. And our phone number is 734-6622. 734-6622. Locate us at Newgate Street, opposite the Anglican Church. Oh, near the Anglican Church, not opposite. It's opposite the high school and near the Anglican Church. Clean and Shine, have the best for you. Happy Black History Month. Enjoy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful treat presented to us by Juliet and her team. Talk about African history. Talk about Black history. Talk about our history. It's such a pleasure to be able to see what our heritage looks like, what our history looks like, directly from people who have come from the continent to live here in Antigua and Barbuda. I certainly am so excited. As a matter of fact, I'm going to work with Juliet and some other people in my constituency to make sure that my whole attire, my whole fashion line is African fashion line, so that everywhere that I'm going, I wouldn't be dressing in these Western clothes anymore. But we certainly would be transitioning to appreciate and love the Africanness as a part of us. Thank you so much, Juliet, for that informative presentation. I now know how to wrap the head for my African queen, my wife. Honey, when I see you, I'm going to fix you up with one of these head wraps. And my African princess, Denique, I'm going to fix you up with your natural hair. We're going to definitely choose the African fabric that works best for you. And I now know because I'm hanging out at Clean and Shine, and they're going to make sure that I know how to do head wraps. And listen, I'll just tell you a secret. Maybe how I can do a little bit of African dancing too. Okay? So, definitely, thank you so much, Juliet. It was a pleasure to have you here. Everybody should go and check her out. And you can maybe get an African outfit that look like my African outfit. Real men wear pink, by the way. So just in case you were worrying about that. We are coming close to the end now, but we couldn't close our presentation without bringing back to the screens today our poet laureate, Miss Dotsy Isaac. She is the person who knows how to put the words in order, and she will stimulate our minds and provoke our thoughts once again. She's going to leave us with two pieces, and she is definitely excited. I want to share everybody the details for our campaign, how you can get in touch with us. Everybody can call me directly at 788-0775. You may log on to our website at www.fransforcitysouth.com. You will also get a chance there just to peruse some of the ideas that we have for this constituency, how we're going to make it better. And I will just tell you, it's high time for St. John's to be redeveloped. It's high time for us to have a new look on our city, our capital, the heart of St. John's City South. Too long we have been playing around with development in Antigua and Barbuda, and we're going to bring that to St. John's City South so that we can have a town that we are proud of, a town that has entertainment, that has opportunity for businesses in Antigua and Barbuda. And most importantly, we can have the best, most educated, the most sophisticated people in Antigua and Barbuda. St. John's City South will be the constituency that is the model, again, once we rebuild our community. And you can also log on to our social media platforms on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, Friends for City South. And I want to let you know, everybody can't give money, even though I would really appreciate it, small or large. For those of you who have not so much money, but you have a good heart to help, I am willing for you to make that financial contribution. But for the people that have plenty money and want to send $100,000 for do the work in the constituency, sort me out so that I can do the work and make sure that things move forward. At this point, we are going to welcome the final presenter in today's program. We really appreciated your time as you spent it here with us, understanding African history, understanding black history, understanding our history. And we're going to close the curtains down with our performers today as we hear Dotsy Isaac. Please hear her.
So I'm back again, and this piece is short and sweet, real sweet. It's full of sugar. It's called Bag of Sugar. Psst. Split teeth girl with your interrupted smile. How you cover your mouth all the while? When you laugh and you show that space, you don't know how much it light up your face. You're talking and I'm just watching your mouth. But it's something else I thinking about. When it comes to sexiness, they say you rule the world. So stop hide up your smile, little split teeth girl. I hear you're sensuous as hell and make love real sweet, all because of that gap in your teeth. Something about you have me mesmerized, so I don't believe they're telling lies. So tell me for real, now, miss, It's true what they say, that girls with splitting their teeth have a bag of sugar down there. Look, it's true what they say about a woman with gap teeth. You don't see all the sugar ants around my feet. Every step I take, the sugar spill without fail, and the ants and men just follow my trail. But I'm warning you, I'm trying to save your soul. You could get diabetes from this sugar bowl. It's addictive and man greedy. They try to take it all in because this sugar bowl, sweet like sin. This sugar was cultivated in the Caribbean in hot sun and tropical rain. So sweet, master leave his wife at night to mix up the brown sugar with the white. I am Betty's Hope sugar, local line sugar, sugar factory sugar, pure, strong, and a pretty brown. I'm not processed, I'm not bleached out, I'm not watered down. I hear you say you have a sweet tooth and you love to eat, but the greater this sugar will damage your teeth. You see, split teeth girl sweetness can't dilute. You ask me, so I'm just telling the truth. Look, you're young and you're promising and you're full of chat, but your curiosity can't kill this cat. So hold your side, little fella. I don't want no tryst. You will never be man enough to handle this. Thank you. Told you it was short and sweet.
Thank you so much, Dotsy. It is certainly a delight for me to have her grace the presence of our program, our history, Black history, African history. We've come to the close of our program today, but before we leave, I want to take the opportunity to thank those who have participated. My heart certainly is full and running over with gratitude because this program was put together on all voluntary contributions, and the team that worked to make it happen is an awesome team on this inaugural run. Set your calendars, look out for it, because it's not only next year you're going to hear about Black history again in my campaign. Black history, African history, our history is a thing that we're going to talk about regularly. So before this year done, you're going to see me again with the same team, the same ideas. Because the idea that we should reserve 1 month to celebrate our history is craziness. We're going to make sure that we bring the history to you all the time. And it really was a pleasure and a joy for me to participate with such esteemed people today giving presentations here. I want to give all adulation and praise to all who came out today and made this event what it was. I would like to thank the following persons specifically for making the event possible. First of all, I would like to thank the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Jamal Pringle. Without you, sir, we would not be afforded the studio necessary to stream this activity today on Facebook and on Zoom. Thank you so much for coming through for us with this venue. This event is the first of its kind for me and has required significant technical knowledge to be successful. And for guidance in this regard, I must thank sound technician Andre Dyer, DJ Illis. Look, let me just tell her that all 10 minutes before the presentation, our Tiller try put all the things together for make sure he work. And he work all kind of miracles and magic for make sure that the things sort out. Even when I didn't give him all the information, he just step in and make sure that the things work. And I really, really appreciate all the effort that he put in to this here. I owe you big time, Illis. Money might not be enough to pay you, but I'm going to have to find a way because you made it happen today. I also want to take the opportunity in today's COVID world, as we have seen through all the changes that has happened that we can't do nothing without video content in this here time. And I was fortunate to be introduced to a videographer that knows what he's doing, the man Lon Isaac. He came here today and set up with the equipment, and we didn't have things in place. He just make it happen, even though he say I owe more money because I have to get the extra things. I still appreciate it because some other people wouldn't be able to respond in the quick time. All the changes that I had, because it's the first time I'm doing this, even the title of the event, he knew what to do and was able to put this together. The technical team for this campaign here is really what going to make the difference for me. And guys, I want to just say thank you to you, Lon, and your assistant for so ably carrying this event here today. Our photography today was provided by the man Auden Samuel, who has been there for this campaign from the beginning. And it is a privilege and pleasure to work with him. Not one time that I call him and he say that he not ready. Or one time I call him and he is unable. Even in the toughest of situations and the early morning situations. Early in the morning when I'll call you all 4 and 5 o'clock and so. He's still there to make it happen. He has produced some good images for us. And I want to thank him so much for the work that he has done, the man Auden Samuel. Also, I would like to acknowledge the members of the St. John's City South branch for those who assisted, who supported, who encouraged us for this event. Thank you so much for what you did. Our head wrap demonstration would not be possible without all the models that were brought to the table here. We had our own Onika Elvin, we had David O'Hay, and we had Princess O'Hay models and for head wrap and for apparel. And I want to thank them so much. I want to thank Juliet from Clean and Shine for bringing her apparel, bringing her things here to show us a little bit of African history. As a matter of fact, we might have to set up something specifically to do that because, you know, I like to see how I look in my African attire, and I'm going to get plenty of them so that we can just deal with the modeling. I'll find out from 2 people how to walk properly, and maybe I might even tie up my own head because I now know how to do that. I want to thank Juliet for making that possible. Also, logistical support. They have a man named Rudolph Davis. Last night, Macaulay, and he makes some things happen. Thank you, Mr. Davis, for being able to pull all those pieces out of the hat to finish off the things that I need. This is the first time I do this. And he gave me some advice and provided some logistical support, even as I ran to pick things up this morning. Thank you so much for that support. This historic event and information packed full with African history, packed full with local history, packed full with our history, wouldn't be possible without the presenters that came here today to present. Miss Lila Farrell opened up with the national anthem and rendered the song "A Change Gonna Come." Well, you better believe that a change gonna come. Thank you so much, Lila. And look, let me just tell her, by the way, Lila, just Thursday, me asked you to participate here because others were not able to meet the commitment. And she didn't flinch. She gave 2 pieces without no notice. And I want to thank her for doing that. Everybody should go to 360 Aperture on YouTube and support her work. Find it on Facebook. Her work is titled "This Is Me," and everybody should check out the Antiguan history, the scenes that were recreated. Let everybody know that Lila Farrell could be the benchmark in Antigua for teaching history via music. Watch out for her and her team. Thank you so much, Lila. And I want to thank the Reverend Elva Richards Goodwin and Mr. Michael Goodwin. They prayed and offered the Negro anthem for us. What a wonderful rendition. Rendition of prayer and rendition in song. Thank you so much to the Goodwins for presenting here for us today. And then the man Coyote Rasto, strength and power, roots and culture. Everywhere me go mention free name. Everywhere me go, I tell her to go PM school together. Respect to the man Coyote Rasto. And then, I can't talk enough about Paddy the Great Simon, right? That is like a mentor to me. Somebody who I believe we should all cherish in Antigua and Barbuda and around the diaspora. History is a thing that is critical to our forward movement and advancement. And I want to take the opportunity to say thanks, Paddy, for taking the time from your schedule to come out here and tell us what is African history, black history, and local history. I want to say thanks again to Dotsie Isaac. Dotsie do the thing when she come and talk. I appreciate her all the time. Thank you, Dotsie. And again, Juliet, your presentations were wonderful and informational. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And there are several persons, some of them who give support, some of them who just came to help out. I want to specifically mention Miss Diana Elvin. Nobody call her to do anything. She volunteered that she want to come and make sure that things go straight, because she like things to be in order. So she came and sorted us out today in her African way. Even being a model, we're going to see them just now because I'll go down like a dancing before I left, right? But I really appreciate her for coming and taking care. And all those whose names they don't want to mention but have given their support and encouragement for this and other events that we have done. Thank you so much. And as you see this presentation in the last 2 hours, simple so, come over. Plenty work going for make this thing happen. Plenty hours behind of this here. Arrangement and rearrangement, bookings and cancellation, construction and deconstruction, decorating and making up decoration. I want to thank you guys so much for making this possible. And I have to take the opportunity right now to call out my good friend and girl, Onika Elvin. She made all the things here possible. Now, let me just tell you, she's a little bit disgusting, but necessary, right? She does a good job of keeping me accountable. Sometimes she gets a little bit too excited, too quick, and concerned when things don't happen. But I really appreciate you, Onika, for the work that you do. And I want you to continue to work with us to make this and other events the events that they ought to be. Finally, our Zoom and Facebook audience. I know we had a little snag with what the password was. Sorry. That's part of doing the thing the first time. All this is going to be recorded, and you can go back and play it back and have it for your perusal on Facebook, YouTube, and the social medias. I apologize for those who didn't get to log on in time, especially where it was my fault. But I thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to come here today to watch about African history, to watch our history, to watch our local history. Thank you so much for your efforts. And thank you for the future contributions that you will make to the campaign for Friends for City South. I need you to bring the change to this constituency. Only if we participate together can we make a change for St. John's City South and by extension Antigua and Barbuda. I am Franz de Freitas. I'm a member of the Redeem team that's going to change this country here. And I ask you to give your all, give your support to me as I fight this battle to redeem St. John's City South. As we leave now, ladies and gentlemen, no log off yet. Put on the music, Mr. DJ, and let's see the participants in the head wraps and the African wear coming across the screen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami ilondoloze 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 zungangishilana ilondoloze 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 zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze